What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk Punch. My name is Brody Hanson, here with Charlie Hickman. How you doing?
Not too bad, sir. How you doing over there?
Doing well, doing well. So while you guys are here, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon so that you're notified every Wednesday at noon when a new episode of Talk Punch comes out. Every Wednesday at noon.
You wouldn't want to miss it.
Unless I mess it up, which has happened, but they always come out. Might be a little late, but Wednesday at noon. That's why you need the bell icon. That's why you need the bell icon.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have
it. I need it in my life, and that's why I have clicked the bell.
Yeah. So make sure you do those. That way you can get all of these crazy conversations that Charlie and I have about whatever we want.
Yeah, and like as long as we're talking like some of these, I'm sorry to interrupt here, Brody, but I know we're talking business here at the start. We haven't launched into our topic yet, so we are looking for someone who will come on our Zoom calls together while we're doing this and just ring a little bell anytime we say the word bell. So if you play a bell or have a nice sounding bell, please contact us, and we can loop you in on some of these calls so you can ding whenever we say the word bell in any context. That'd be great.
That's interesting. You should probably run those things past me before you throw things out like that.
Oh, no. So last week we announced the contest for your bedroom, and now we're announcing the bell ringer. Well, every week, a new contest involving Brody.
I don't know if that was last week. I don't remember the release schedule. So
that's fair enough. I don't know. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, tonight, Charlie.
Brody.
You've got a little Darth Vader on your shoulder.
I do.
That's because we're talking about Star Wars.
We are talking about Star Wars.
Now, so we're talking about kind of what we currently think of the product. You and I, both big Star Wars fans.
Big fans.
Big fans. Fans for a long time, since the 80s and stuff. So, we're talking what we kind of currently think of the product. We're going to go over some of the announcements that recently happened.
Yes.
And just kind of give some thoughts on those. We're going to talk about some of our hopes. Hopes for the Star Wars universe.
Hopes and dreams, Brody. Hopes and dreams.
And dreams.
And can I say, even if you're not a huge Star Wars fan, or even if you haven't seen all the Star Wars films or television shows or cartoons or shorts, or even if you are not a Disney Plus subscriber, even if you've never been to Disneyland and gone to the Star Wars land, even if you don't know who this little guy on my shoulder is, I still think there'll be some entertaining moments for you. So please stick around, watch the show, and maybe, just maybe, it will inspire you to check out some of the new exciting Star Wars content, or it will inspire you to never check out any of the Star Wars content, in which case, just spending a little time with us will save you hours and hours of your life. So,
yep.
Stick around.
That's a very good point. Very good point, Charlie.
Thank you, sir.
You're full of good points.
Hey. Ding. See, that's where a bell ringer would just ding.
We could probably
it's too hard a sound effect to duplicate digitally.
We can add that someplace.
No. You can always tell a fake bell sound.
Can you?
Like nails in a chalkboard. Oh my gosh. As someone who's from a long line of bell players, yeah, I mean, my great grandfather practically invented the bell. I mean, a few extra greats in there, but
okay,
yeah,
that's very old. All right, so current opinions on the product. Okay, so we've got you and I grew up with original trilogy.
Correct.
You and I saw the prequel trilogy together. All three of those we watched together in theaters.
Yeah, we did.
Man, remember those? Gee whiz.
It was good times. Good times. Sort of.
And then we have the sequel trilogy that...
Yes.
Boy, those are divisive.
They are divisive.
And then we've got The Mandalorian. So,
which I think is less divisive.
I think it's less divisive. I think so. So, Charlie, where do you stand? Kind of currently, your overall thoughts on Star Wars?
Well, there's been a kind of up and down ride with Star Wars, right? So we had these amazing movies when we were kids.
Sure.
grew up with the toys,
Mm-hmm.
grew up watching those films repeatedly. And
Mm-hmm.
then there was kind of like this pretty big void. There was some cartoons that came out. Like, I don't know if you ever watched the Droids cartoon or
Mm-hmm.
a couple of like the little Star Wars cartoons. And
The Ewok
there was
movies.
oh, so bad. So bad. But and kind of like, okay, this is, the future of Star Wars for us will be video games. There's gonna be like Knights of the Old
Yeah.
Republic we've talked about before, one of my favorite video games of all time. There's some great Star Wars video games and that have come and gone and will continue to be made. And I kind of thought, okay, that's it. And then the prequel trilogy came out, and it was like, oh my gosh, no, we're getting. It was the most excited I've ever been watching a trailer. It was like just this wave of excitement across the world. And then, of course, speaking of divisive, those prequels were not necessarily beloved or well received by most of the fans. I think you and me included in that. It was not the movies we were hoping for, and then that kind of ushered in a sad feeling of like, well, that's definitely it. So there some other video games come out. It's like, okay, there's great, still plenty of good Star Wars content. And it wasn't until the new trilogy was going that I realized, okay, they're gonna keep making Star Wars stuff. It was like once they announced the new trilogy, it's like, okay, we're gonna be in a world where Star Wars continues to exist. And at that point, it like, look, the new movies we'll talk about, but it became a little less important for me that they were masterpieces, because I thought, okay, even if they're not great, and I don't know that they were, there's gonna be more. They're going to be more. Now we're in a place where the machine's going to start churning. And that was my thought going into
announced
Force Awakens.
and they announced that they pretty much said during when that trilogy was coming out, they were like, we're going to have a Star Wars movie every year come out.
That was not that was a mistake.
And
The way that it is now,
they admitted that was a mistake too.
yeah. The television, like The Mandalorian and then the new TV shows that we'll talk about today, I'm way more excited about the storytelling opportunities on like streaming services and television
Sure.
than I am about the possibilities of more franchise films coming out.
Okay.
And I think we will get into that more, so I don't need to put the cart before the horses, they say. But we'll get there in a few parsecs, and that'll be good.
Yeah, and I think.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I guess I didn't really answer your initial question. We're in a good place. I think we're going to enter into what I hope will be a golden age of Star Wars storytelling.
Yeah, I agree. Growing up loving Star Wars, I watched the Star Wars movies every single day when I was a little kid, and then having that space, getting the prequels, not universally loved. I tried so hard to like those movies, and I would defend them, but deep in my heart, I was like, there's some issues.
Yeah. Same. I got in a lot of arguments. People I need to apologize to at this point in my life for like saying, no, they're good. I want them to be good.
It's a fascinating thing. I read something recently where the prequels kind of have, to the younger than us, kind of the generation after us, that
Sure.
do really hold the prequels to a really high standard, and they really enjoy the prequels even more so than the original trilogy, because the prequels are what they grew up with. And so where we grew up with the original trilogy, and where it had a more serious tone and dark tone, especially with things like Empire, the generation below us really that's what they watched when they were kids, was Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And so that is their Star Wars. And so it really does kind of have a following now, which is kind of wild to me, because at the time when it was our generation watching them in theaters, we were all like, what just happened? Like, what? How did this happen? This is Star Wars. How did this happen? And so it's been really fascinating. And then I think with the prequels and whatever story they came up with seemingly on the fly and between movies and things like that just kind of disconnected. I enjoyed the movies. I believe more than you did. But I also recognize that, there doesn't seem to be the cohesive story that we quite got
Right.
with the original trilogy. There was like a hard break somewhere between, changing directors between Force
Yeah.
Awakens and Last Jedi, and then back to, and then the jump to Rise of Skywalker. And that's
There's a position in television called a showrunner, and a showrunner is like he or she is the heart blood of the show. They're kind of in charge of like guarding the characters and the story and just kind of guiding the show like it's their baby.
or a Kevin
There's some
Feige.
shows like famously like yeah, it's like Dan Harmon on Community when he left for a season and some of those tone changes that shifted, or like a show like Dexter, which everybody kind of hates that that final season, or The Office, where you see shows like where things just it's not even you can argue quality, but certainly there's like it was like they were kind of heading in a direction, and then all of a sudden someone came in and was like, let's change this.
I have
and
an idea.
Suddenly characters start behaving differently. Even like Cougar Town, which is a show that I mentioned on our top favorite TV shows. Bill Lawrence was the showrunner for 3 seasons and then left. And you can really tell the last 3 seasons, characters are the same, relationships are the same, but it's like all of a sudden like the storytelling, the vision is like disconnected. And it's like these 3 movies. It was like they had 3 different showrunners who were like it's like, oh, create your show with these characters and tell your story. And instead of it feeling like they were guiding us through 3 films, it really felt like here's one movie, here's a totally different movie, and then here's yet a completely different movie. And it's like they establish storylines and then they're like, nah, and then they're like, yeah, and so just like this roller coaster of like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So many different things. And I know you give me a hard time because I did not like The Last Jedi, and I feel like I would have liked it if all 3 movies had really fit into that universe, or at least I could have liked it. It had its flaws. We can have we should have a movies that I like a grumpy ranting episode where I just can complain about movies that people like that I don't. Like Old Man on a Cloud or something. We can, or Old Man Yells at Cloud, I guess, from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Why do you like this?
So we went through the prequel trilogies. I enjoyed them for the most part, and then we got Mandalorian, and even though I think season 1 was took a little getting used to like what they were trying to do, but then season 2 took off and I was on board and I was like, I'm with it. You got me. Just I'm here. I'm with it. Let's do it. Make sure you go watch our Mandalorian talk.
That's a good plug, bro. That's a good plug.
Hey,
That was a great episode.
it was. So I think we're in a good place. I think that especially with something like Disney Plus, where we can put this stuff, I'm really hopeful for the future of Star Wars and for the content that they kind of have that they are going to be putting out and have planned to put out and have announced.
Right.
And so that kind of leads us into our next little bit here, which is now all this stuff came out in December, so we're a little bit late, but that's okay.
And so it's time to process, bro.
Yeah, I know. We had to figure this out. So this was their big announcements. They said, okay, this is everything that we have coming up. And so we're just going to kind of run through these, just give quick thoughts on all this stuff. Charlie, I'm not sure if you have you looked through the full announcements? Do you know all the stuff that's coming out? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I had a few phone calls, talked to a few people.
Good.
Check my sources.
Good.
Read some internet. Yeah.
So we've got Rogue Squadrons from Patty Jenkins, famous for the Wonder Woman movies. Now, this was announced before Wonder Woman 84 came out. I think people might have been more excited before Wonder Woman 84 came out. I think Wonder Woman, Disney has done this before, where somebody has one movie and then, like one really good movie, and so they sign them on
Right.
for some Star Wars, and then they have the person has a movie that comes out that isn't so good, and then they kind of sweep it under the rug. I'm really curious to see what happens here. I hope that it sticks. Okay, I really liked Wonder Woman 1. Wonder Woman 84 had its problems, but I'm really looking forward to this. I love the idea of a Rogue Squadron movie. I
Yeah.
you know, the idea behind, okay, there's all of these people that you've seen in gold squadron, red squadron, blue squadron, and let's get to know these people some. They haven't released a whole lot of details on it, but what are your thoughts on this, Charlie?
So let me get your opinion on a couple things here, and we'll kind of circle around some of these. You you kind of hinted at it a little bit.
Okay.
Your problems with Wonder Woman 1984.
Uh-huh.
Did you feel like that was more in the writing, like the story, like the story itself, or did you feel like it was like director choices? Did you feel like it was the acting? Like what was it for you that kind of made that a less enjoyable watch?
I think the writing, and I know that they changed writers between the Wonder Womans, and I believe that Patty Jenkins had more to do with the writing in the second one.
Yeah, she has a credit for sure on IMDb, a story by.
Yeah. So, we'll see. They haven't released the full list. They don't. We don't know who's writing this thing. I don't think so. I don't think we know who's writing it. It was just kind of a Patty Jenkins. Here's a little trailer. She loves planes and war stuff, and so she wants to do a Rogue Squadron movie. And hey, it's great. I believe she's the first woman to direct a Star Wars movie. We had Bryce Dallas Howard do episodes of Mandalorian, but this is the first woman to do a Star Wars like movie. So
It's good, by the way.
so
I like her as a director.
yeah.
Bryce. But
Yes.
I I look. I am cautiously optimistic for this. I think one of the tones that you're going to hear from me throughout this kind of announcement spread that we do is that I'm going to be more excited for the television side of things and a little less excited for the film side of things. You have, like, with television storytelling, you have time to find the voice, and you have time to develop the characters. You have time to correct mistakes. You can start out and kind of shift tone, and I feel like Mandalorian season 1 to season 2, they made changes that made the show better. They improved upon their product, and,
Sure.
and I liked Mandalorian season 1. I thought Mandalorian season 2 was much better.
Yeah.
And with the movie, you kind of have one shot, and hopefully the things come together. And I this sounds like it would be a really cool movie. Rogue Squadron would be sweet, man. So I do think, like, especially like with the with her background and like the success of Wonder Woman, and I'll be honest, I've not seen Wonder Woman 1984 yet. When Brody tells me that a DC film is like a little that goes like way down the bottom of my queue, because he is a DC apologist to the core. It could be Batman versus Superman, or even back in the Arnold as Mr. Freeze on ice skates, and Brody's like, no, it's not that bad, actually.
Oh,
I
come
rewatched
on.
Batman 4, and it was like, maybe Joel Schumacher was ahead of his time. May he rest in peace.
I have
He was
never
a visionary.
said that. Give me a break. Although now that you mention it, we did watch Batman v Superman the other night for our family movie night, and we watched the Ultimate Edition, which added a lot more to various subplots that made no sense in the theatrical, and so I was like, that was better than the theatrical. There you go.
Okay, well, we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this one, and regardless of how it does or how it is, like, I'm glad. I really hope that they follow through. I think it's awesome that she's getting the opportunity to do this Star Wars, and I hope
sure.
it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the daughter of a fighter pilot herself. So
There you go.
take some of that and bring it into the movies. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be cool. I hope that I hope they get a good writer.
Yeah, gotta have the good script.
Gotta have a good writer.
I hope there's some womp rats in it, and I hope they get shot.
Now, I don't really know much about this, the Untitled Taika Waititi film. You know, once you get in with Disney, you could just have a career with Disney. There is no need to go anywhere else.
Life lessons, kids. Make it happen.
You know, get in their good graces, make a Thor Ragnarok, and then you can do Mandalorian episodes. You can get handed a Star Wars movie. Do whatever. Do whatever. So there's not much about this, but Taika Waititi was great. Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I enjoyed that film.
I am really looking forward to getting some more details on that.
Yeah, the ones like that just have kind of like a person attached and not so much a story or a defined
Anything.
Yeah. Sure. Anything. Yeah, I'm kind of like, all right, cool, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Like I'm just, yeah, we can just move on. Like, hopefully it's cool.
It's Taika Waititi, so I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, we'd watch anything though, to be
okay.
honest.
So the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Okay, I'm really excited for this. I love me some Ewan McGregor. Love it. And they're bringing back Hayden Christensen, who I think he is a good actor. He can act. You know, I think that, you know, going off of the prequels, we've got like a Natalie Portman and a Samuel L. Jackson and people that actually can act who just under the direction of George Lucas, you know, struggled. Yeah. So I am really excited to see a Hayden Christensen come back as a Darth Vader under a new director, you know, to see what he can do and to further the story of Obi-Wan. This is my most anticipated thing. I cannot wait for this.
Agreed. In fact, I'm so looking forward to it. I'm going to give myself an Obi-Wan beard and maybe some Obi-Wan and eyebrows. This is how excited I am.
So
about...
creepy. It's so creepy.
Is it better with the what's more Obi-Wan?
No,
maybe this one.
It's not. You look like Tom Cruise as Iron Man. Like.
All right, well, we'll find the right kind of eyebrows and facial hair to express my excitement. But yeah, no, I am thrilled that this one is getting made. It's going to be really fun, and you know my complaint, and I don't need to rehash it. You've heard me I'm sure on this very podcast rant about that we don't get to see Jedis just being awesome all the time, and so I'm hopeful that we get to see a Jedi at the height of his powers being awesome, because we get Obi-Wan kind of, you know, dealing with all this, you know, Anakin stuff and so hopefully he's not like real moody and nomadish right away. I hope we get some like pretty awesome adventures, and I'm excited. You know, Ahsoka and things we'll talk about later. I just want to see some Jedis just being like as one, like as a kid you're kind of like what gosh man, the Sith are just a lot better. They get more powers. They're more powerful. You know, and the Jedi is like, and they gotta like surrender if they get too angry when they, you know, like, oh man, got a little too mad. Here's my lightsaber. I'm so sorry. It's like kind of being a Jedi it's kind of lame. So make being a Jedi cool again, Obi-Wan.
Yeah, totally. I am really curious to see how this series fits into the Star Wars timeline. You know, especially with the announcement of Hayden Christensen, and we have Obi-Wan.
They gotta have like some flashbacks, right?
But like, is that going to be it? No, it can't be flashbacks.
Well, what can he be? He can't be. He's when Obi-Wan. It's got to be, unless it takes place before Revenge of the Sith. I mean, because they mangled and Vader,
and they act.
He can't like take off his Vader helmet and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
They act like they haven't seen each other in Episode 4 when they're on the Death Star and fighting. So yeah. I'm really curious to see where this takes place and how they tie this into the rest of Star Wars, because I'm not sure. This one, I know this one is not being showrun by
Favreau. Do you know who the showrunner is?
I believe it Deborah Chow.
Okay. Cool.
And she's done something else. I think she directed an episode of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
And I think she's been the showrunner for something else, but yeah. So yeah, she directed some episodes in season 1, is what this says.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. We'll see. You know, it's still this is my most anticipated thing.
Yep.
Still being cautiously optimistic though. You know. Sure. Especially I wish, honestly, like personally, I wish that Favreau was the showrunner. If you had, you know, Favreau and Filoni running this thing, like, you got my trust, you know. I'm not really familiar.
Get some fresh blood in there, man.
I'm not really familiar with Deborah Chow, so we'll see. You know, but I'm super duper looking forward to this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun, and I just think, again, I think the storytelling medium of like the, you know, once the way they're doing Mandalorian, the once a week drop in on the streaming and then being able to binge it all again when it's done. I just think that's going to be, you're going to be able to tell some really fun, great quality stories. I am excited to get away from kind of this Skywalker timeline. Okay. And I know that this is going to cement us right back into it. And so then it just the curiosity of like, okay, when is this? How does it fit in? So I get, you know, there's some nice moments to that, but, you know, like, well, I guess we'll talk more about this with a few of these, but I just would love to get beyond this. Give me some, or way before this, or alternate presence, or just give me something where the ending isn't like written already. It's like, you know, TV shows that start off with like some action sequence, some guy's bleeding from his chest and pulling himself into the doctor, and he's like, I'd like to report a murder. It's my murder. And then it's like 12 hours earlier, and you kind of already know the ending. And I don't like that storytelling mechanism. Like, okay. I don't like knowing that ending. I might as well just watch the last episode and then watch the rest of the show first. Like, I like that build up and then getting to that. I don't like seeing how it's going to end and then, oh, I wonder how we got there. Give me some surprise, give me some mystery, give me some twists and turns, and give me some great acting, some great storytelling, some compelling visuals. Darth Vader on a bicycle floating in space. That's what we want to see. We want to see Vader cooking some eggs.
For sure.
That's what we want.
Cooking eggs? Is he cooking eggs?
Yeah, he's the world's greatest dad, man. He's making breakfast for his kids. What do you?
Oh.
Sorry.
I thought you were still talking about.
I got a lot of Vader going on.
I thought you were still talking about the picture behind you. I was like, is he riding a bike and
he's cooking eggs, man? He's riding. Man, the wheels are eggs. What are you gonna do?
Talented Vader there.
Hey, man, he can do it all.
Hey, with the dark side, you can.
Yeah, apparently. The only thing that can defeat the dark side is someone from the dark side deciding, you know what, I'm not that evil today.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Ahsoka. We've got an Ahsoka live action show with Rosario Dawson coming out, fresh off of Mandalorian. She did one episode, and they're like, you know what, you get your own show. Now this one is being executive produced by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, so I think that this will be good, no matter what.
It's probably going to take place in that same kind of like timeline of the Mandalorian, all that happening.
Well, and we got the name drop of Thrawn from her Mandalorian episode. So, you know, I guess that's probably where we're going to go with this episode, is her hunting down live action Thrawn. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know anything about it.
I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna love it.
But yeah, it'll be good.
Y'all heard me say it before, but I love me some Ahsoka. I loved her in the Clone Wars. I was so excited to see her pop up in the Mandalorian, and I am so thrilled that I will get to watch an entire show centered around her character. I couldn't have been more pleased with the way they treated her in the Mandalorian, and I thought Rosario Dawson was awesome and injected into my veins. Yes.
All right, Rangers of the New Republic. So in the timeline of The Mandalorian, it's a live action series with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Is going to intersect stories and culminate with a climactic. Got it.
Or climatic for those of you who like to combine the words.
Climactic story event. I don't think we know anything else about this, though. I have no idea what this is about.
It sounds exciting.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Lando. So Lando, in his brief, less than 5-minute cameo in Rise of Skywalker, they were like, you know what? You know what we need? We need a Lando series? No, well, it says event series, which makes me think that it's going to be a shorter series, mini series, 5-6 episodes, and that's it type of deal. I don't think this is going to be an ongoing thing.
I got nothing to say to that. Okay. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
they haven't told us. I don't know. It could be. Look, I love you. You know I love me some Lando. Should I put a mustache back on for Lando?
You could. I don't know. And now, so I'm guessing that this is going to be Billy D. Williams Lando.
And not Donald Glover.
I don't think this will be Donald Glover Lando. I think we're going to get Billy D. Williams.
Are you sure it's a short? Did they confirm that it's just a...
No, they haven't said that, but they say a brand new event series.
I know there was like a series of like, they have some like short cartoons on there on Disney Plus right now. If you've watched them, like Ray cartoons, they're like 3 minutes long.
Okay.
And then I know that, I don't know if we'll get to it, but one of the announcements I read was about 10-minute little shorts.
Okay.
Characters, but that seems like if you're gonna do a Lando event, it's got to maybe.
Well, no, I don't think it's gonna be like 10-minute things. I think we'll get like 5 30 to 40-minute episodes. And
okay, do you think Billy D? Really, you don't think it'll be Glover? And
I think it'll be Billy D.
So just like old Lando, and he's just in Cloud City in his retirement chair, just like smoking a sweet cigar.
Maybe, I don't know. He was hitting on that girl at the end of Rise of Skywalker, who we don't know if that's his daughter or not. Like, I don't know. Maybe
I tell you, I'd watch the hell out of Billy D. Williams just sitting in a chair with like a nice cognac or something, smoking a cigar and saying like, well, back in my day, and just telling Star Wars stories, and then it cuts to like Donald Glover.
Oh, that would be great.
His business.
That would be
watch
great.
That.
Yeah, let's give us a full series. I want 20 episodes.
And it's just like, but it's just Billy D being super cool. He might be, if we did a list of the top 10 coolest human beings to ever live, he might be number 1, or at least he's definitely top 3. He is so cool.
If they were going to do that, though, they would have to call it The Adventures of Lando Calrissian, though.
Oh, okay. I accept your terms.
Not just Lando. Lando, come on. We got
Lando on Lando.
We got all these one-word things. Speaking of one-word things, we got Andor. So we're returning to the Rogue One people with Diego Luna coming back as Andor. Cassian Andor. I really liked Rogue One. Am I super interested in what Cassian Andor was doing? I don't know. I'll watch it. Is it like top of my list? Like, you know what I would love to see? A series on Andor. Probably not. But I'll watch it, and I'll probably end up really liking it.
Yeah, I think that probably fits well into like a category of things that I'm like. Again, it's like okay, how attached can I get to? It's like, oh man, you watch Rogue One and then it ends how it ends. It's like it'd be like watching the movie The Titanic and then going, you know what I want to hear more about? That couple that held each other while they drowned. Could we get a TV show where we kind of really get to know them and like them even more, and then watch them drown again in the movie? That'd be great.
But even like okay, can we just get to know Jack's backstory before he got on the boat?
Yeah, can we get more? Like this is one I'm talking about. Like the way that they describe the show sounds really cool. Couldn't they do that with new characters
It's a
where you
spy
don't know
thriller.
they're gonna die? Like, couldn't they just say this is a new Star Wars adventure set in some time in the Star Wars universe with certain characters? Like, look, we all love Andor, right? But if he's in one movie, I mean, like, no one was clamoring for more Andor. It could have just, it could call it whatever, Guibo and Guibo's Adventures. I'm pitching today. I'm pitching a no-hitter. Lando on Lando, and now we got Guibo and his mini adventures. Yeah. And he's just out there, you know, he can be smuggling or doing spy adventures. And we don't know that in a season or two he's going to die. And the longer it runs, the more you're just going to like the character, and you just know.
Yep. So we are getting Genevieve O'Reilly back as Mon Mothma. So we are going back to
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah. Is Alan Tudyk in it as the droid? What's his name?
Nice save. Yes.
He is coming. That's confirmed. He's not in this press release.
Oh, it was confirmed by my sources.
Oh, okay.
So you heard it here first, or probably somewhere else first. But according to my sources, Alan Tudyk's back.
Okay. I mean, he was great. So, yeah.
I love Alan Tudyk. If you don't know who Alan Tudyk is,
he's great.
IMDb him. Google him.
He's great.
He's fantastic.
Great. So yeah, so Andor is like currently filming, like it's going on right now. Yeah. They have a little teaser thing. So 2022, we're getting more Andor. Okay, the Acolyte. Nobody knows anything what that is. They don't even have like a picture of it.
Is that the one that's supposed to take place like many moons ago?
Emmy nominated creator by the mind-boggling series Russian Doll brings a new Star Wars series to Disney Plus, The Acolyte. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take the audience into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. So we're going like old school.
Yeah. I'm excited for this.
Which sounds great. That sounds great.
And I love Russian Doll. That was really good. You should watch it.
I have no idea what that is.
You should watch it.
What is it?
It's short.
Okay.
It's a Netflix show.
Okay.
It's got a Groundhog Day-ish feel, but like dark. Not dark, but, you know, like grittier.
Okay.
But still funny. Still very funny.
Interesting.
The whole cast is amazing, but yeah, it's a real fun show.
Oh, maybe I'll check that out.
Done.
So yeah,
I'm excited to see more of her work, and I'm excited. This sounds really cool. This is what I'm talking about. Give me away from the Skywalkers. Even if give me the way back machine. Let's see some.
Yeah,
old stuff.
I'm excited to go to the High Republic era. I'm really excited for that. So I will eagerly await more details on what this is.
More to come.
All right, The Bad Batch. You probably have more to say about this than I do because I haven't watched the Clone Wars. But this is kind of the spin-off / sequel series to the Clone Wars.
Yeah. I'll watch this for sure.
Okay.
I'll watch this with my kids.
I mean, it seems like it's
pretend it's for them.
It seems like it's more Clone Wars. So if you like Clone Wars, probably like this.
Yeah, agreed.
So
yeah, I don't think we don't need to say a lot about it. If you're into the Star Wars animated stuff, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah. Star Wars Visions.
So this is the big crossover with Wanda.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, the Star Wars Marvel crossover. That's gonna happen.
It was bound to happen.
Series of animated shorts celebrating Star Wars through the lens of the world's best anime creators. Okay, so it's kind of an anthology type, out of canon anime stuff.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. It's like little 10-minute vignettes, and
okay,
they kind of just it sounds cool. I think it's gonna be done in more of an anime style. So
yeah, I
think that's gonna be just a totally different visual and like storytelling, which could lead to some regardless of how excited you get for this particular project, I just love it when you get different creators with different voices telling different parts of like stories from a really compelling universe, because it just opens the door for like more possibilities in the future. So I think this could lead to some really interesting and exciting Star Wars, whether it's animated stuff or just, you know, just maybe some new directors and people with different vision to create some different unique stories for Disney Plus. I think that'd be awesome. So I'm actually pretty excited for this one as well. So
yeah, I will be checking that out. All right, a droid story. Looks like we're getting some animated droid stuff. ILM is yeah, Star Wars Adventures for Disney Plus. Maybe a more kid focused droid cartoons.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Probably.
I'm down. And then they touched on other non-Star Wars stuff like Willow. Use the wand, Willow.
Use the Force.
So yeah, so that's what we have upcoming. Charlie, if you had to pick one thing that you are most excited about from that list, what would you be thinking?
The thing that I'm the most excited to see is the Obi-Wan show, just because it's the mix of curiosity with like high expectations and hope for a return of like actors that I love and characters that I love. But if you told me that I had to pick one that I was confident would be great, and then watch that and only that. We didn't talk about the Boba Fett show, by the way. Do we want to touch on that?
That's true. So we have the Book of Boba Fett coming. I don't know if they put out a release date for that or not. I do know that Mandalorian season 3 is coming out December of 2021. So December of this year. I'm not sure if Book of Boba Fett is coming out before that.
I think it has to. I think it will.
You think that's Book of Boba Fett is going to lead into Mando season 3?
I think it will. That's pure speculation on my part, but the way they used to like to do that with the Marvel films, where they would end with a teaser for like whatever was coming next, and then they'd have that next, and then that would have a teaser for whatever was kind of coming next. It just makes sense because they have, you know, Boba Fett sit down in Jabba's palace, and it kind of, you know, wraps. So it would be kind of weird to not visit that again for like 2 years, then tell a bunch more stories, and then come back to that. So I think probably that'll be
according to Google, we're looking at December of 2021. So whether it's like
rapid
beginning December 2021, and then it's a shorter series that leads into Mandalorian season 3. I believe Mandalorian season 3 is Christmas 2021. So,
oh no, I thought Mandalorian season 3 wasn't coming until 2022. I guess maybe I guess if it starts in Christmas 2021, it'll be in 2022. So that, I guess that makes sense. So you have one kind of crossing into the other.
Yeah, we may just have Book of Boba Fett leading right in.
I'm excited to watch that. I'm hopeful. Look, Ahsoka is the one that I think that I'm the most confident will be good out of all of the things that we've talked about so far. It's the one that if I had to like put money in a stock or, you know, place a bet, like that's the one where I would kind of hang my hat. But I'm really excited for the Obi-Wan, and some of these other ones just sound really intriguing. But anything can sound intriguing if you kind of just put a blurb on a page. You know, it's like, hey, really exciting, never before told Star Wars story featuring, you know, lightsaber battles and space, you know, and awesome characters that you love. And I'll be like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You also didn't mention the Chuck Lorre one, the guy who did Big Bang Theory, and some other CBS sitcoms. It's going to be a Star Wars sitcom where it's like just a couch sitcom, you know, like multi-camera, but it's with a stormtrooper, and he comes home after like a long day at work, and he's like taking off his stormtrooper hat, and it's kind of like a Married with Children, but like the main guy's like a stormtrooper, and then like his kids are always sassing him because he can't shoot straight. Like, oh, Dad, can you pass me the remote? Oh, I guess you can't. No, you can't hit anything. You don't.
Is he a stormtrooper or is he a clone trooper?
Oh, he's a stormtrooper, and it's but he was just a kid. Don't worry. According to the new lore, he was just a kidnapped child from some planet, and then forced into the servitude of the military. So no big deal. Just a former child soldier. But but a lighthearted family take. What would it be like to see a stormtrooper and his kids and his lovely bride and their wacky neighbors who don't like the Empire?
Oh man. Yep. I missed that announcement.
In-laws. So
where was that announcement?
so
I don't
good.
know. It must have come after that.
And from the creators of The Office, there will also be a sitcom coming about a workspace on the Death Star with a Dwight type character played by Rainn Wilson, and then you're gonna get your. So it's basically just The Office on the Death Star. It's gonna be really fun. I'm excited for that. I think that's gonna be hilarious. The antics that they get into, how many planets did we blow up today, and things like that. They're gonna have some wacky conversations. Stanley's gonna be there. It's gonna be wonderful.
Stanley's gonna be there. So fun behind the scenes story is Charlie and I were talking about some stuff before we started recording, and Charlie said, "Well, and then there's the Rainn Wilson trilogy," and I was like, "What?" And Charlie said, "Oh, not Rainn Wilson, Ryan Johnson." But I thought,
those two are inexplicably linked in my brain.
A Rainn Wilson Star Wars trilogy. I hadn't heard that one. I don't know whether
it'd be awesome, right? Come on, you would watch The Office on the Death Star. You would 100% watch a show centered around like a cast of wacky characters.
Absolutely.
And as long as we're airing pre-show dirty laundry, Brody did say I need to start posting more things on the Instantgram. The Instantgram, yes.
I did. Accidentally.
Old man Hanson.
It just slipped out. I can't. It's not a normal word that I say often. So
Insta.
While we're talking about that, make sure you go to Instagram.com/TalkTalkPunch.
Hey,
you can find
that's how you segue.
You can find the link right up there. Find some funny pictures that we post every once in a while. I'm not very good at it. I'm trying to be better. I'm sorry.
The more you guys, by the way, if you go to the Insta and you drop some comments on some of these pictures, the more Brody's going to be like, all right, I'm going to post some more things. And he's got, some exciting photo. I want you to take a picture through your beard. If you could like part the beard and like frame the photo with your beard. We'll try some through the beard photos.
There's my chin. Somewhere
beard
down
lens.
There. It's down there. I haven't seen it.
It's called beard goggles.
I haven't seen my chin in years.
Is that what my neck looks like?
All right. Well, enough of whatever that was.
Agreed.
So, hopes for the franchise. Hopes for where Star Wars is going. Charlie, what do you have hopes for?
A new hope.
Be it movies versus TV, kind of the Star Wars Skywalker age versus beyond or past. What are kind of the hopes that you're hoping for?
Yeah, so look, I'm more than anything. This is like parent talk. It's like, are you hoping for a boy or a girl? I'm just hoping for a healthy baby. Like that. I just want good stories, and I don't really care what they are. But really, I want them to be good, obviously. So let's just get that out of the way. But I'm really excited to see some more television shows. I have just kind of like recently, and the pandemic played a role, but even before that, it's kids, like lifestyle changes as I've gotten older. It's just harder for me to get to the theaters, and
it is.
Movies are expensive, and it's just hard to get out of the house to go see it. The last movie we all saw together was pre-pandemic was The Last Jedi, and on our way to do that, my son flung the car door open and put like a big dent in our leased car. I
haven't heard that story.
It's frustrating, and my wife couldn't come because our baby was sick and throwing up. So it's just like, so the last movie, like, not only was it just like horrible to get to the theater.
You didn't see Rise of Skywalker in theater?
I'm sorry, Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
Excuse me. Sorry, and so we saw the last Star Wars movie, and I just like, this is horrible. Like, it was hard to get out the door. We all couldn't come because we had a sick kid. My leased car's got a big ding in the side now, and I'm shelling out how much money for like the five of us to sit here, and I had to give away an extra ticket because my wife couldn't come, and it's like, all right, so this is like a $60 movie plus like the a couple $100 for the car damage plus like just frustration and stress. It's like, or I could watch The Mandalorian at home. Ah, I paid up on Disney Plus for like 3 years, man. So I bring on the shows. I love the opportunities for like that kind of to build on storytelling that you get when you're telling episodic stories where you can kind of create characters. I heard Bill Lawrence say once that back during the days of network television, before streaming, before like DVRs, your most avid fans of a show would watch 1 out of 3 episodes. So it's like TV back in the day. You go and you watch older shows, even like shows from the 2000s, and they're always catching you up. And they'd have like eventually there'd be a clip show of like the greatest hits of like the series, and it's just so nice now in 2021. With everything streaming, so writers can just write, and they don't have to like constantly remind you of like, remember that one time we were all on that Millennium Falcon and the Death Star blew up, and then there was a second Death Star, and like we don't have to play catch up. They can just kind of build on the story. I just think it's such a great time to be telling stories through television. So I'm really a lot more excited about that side of things. The new trilogy was fine. There were some really fantastic moments. I'm glad it exists. There were some interesting new characters. I would love, like, if we're just daydreaming, I would love to see like a Finn like franchise where he's just a Jedi. He's learned to be a Jedi or learning to be a Jedi, and he's just being awesome, and just getting at the hang of the Force and getting the hang of his powers. I'd love to see more Rey. I really enjoyed those characters. I like the actors who played them. I would love to see more of their stories.
Sure.
I know that those particular actors aren't, John and Daisy aren't as excited about Star Wars fans and the Star Wars universe, and it makes sense because people treated them horribly online, and so I felt really bad for Finn's character in the third movie. I shouldn't say I felt really bad. It's not like I didn't go home and like ball up and cry or whatever, but I just thought he was underused, and not like they had that one weird moment where like it was like he was gonna tell her that he loved her, which felt weird, but it wasn't. He was like, afterwards I had to look that up because it just felt so weird in Skywalker. He's like, there's something I need to tell you before we die. And it's like, just, I have the power, I'm force sensitivity, I think was, but he doesn't say it. And so just leaves it there. And then they never address it.
That was an odd choice. It was an odd choice to
it's like
not address
confessing
that.
his love for her. It just felt so weird. And I just feel like the character deserves better. The actor deserves better. I'd love to see some of those. And you've heard me rant. I want to see Jedis wielding lightsabers, using the Force. I want to see the Jedis using more than just like Force push. I love that they added that she could like Force heal a little bit. There should be like more Force ability that's like they're doing Force choke and lightning and like the Sith get all these cool powers. I'd love to see Jedis using some. If we're gonna really dig all in on this allegory of good versus evil, let's see some better good powers. Like,
sure.
Give me if I'm playing a video game, give me a choice of like you're kind of looking at you can take the dark side or the light side, and they have all these abilities on each side, and you're like, oh man, like I don't want to be a Sith, but their powers are so much better. It's like
it's true.
All right, what about you, bro?
It's true. I am really hopeful for the things that are coming. I think, and most of that is due to Mandalorian. I think if we didn't have Mandalorian, just going off of the sequel trilogy, I'd be like, okay, I'm always game for Star Wars. You put a new Star Wars out and I'll watch it. But I think because of Mandalorian, because of the things that Mandalorian has set up, because of the style and the universe that has built, with the really interesting things of the beginning of the Rebel Alliance, after the fall of the Empire, and like they're the good guys, but like, is it all that good? Like, I think all that stuff is really interesting. So I'm excited to see kind of how things branch off of The Mandalorian. Even more so than the sequel trilogy. We kind of get to the sequel trilogy and I'm kind of like, okay, like, to me, that's a good like end point to this story. I'm more excited about where the Mandalorian branches off of this story and what other little branches can go off of Mandalorian now. I'm really excited for things to take place in the High Republic era. Stuff like that to kind of move past the Skywalker saga. And yes, I say that as I am most excited about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader.
Sure.
You know, and who knows what's going to happen with Luke and Grogu now. You know, is that going to further? Are we going to get more Luke? Is Grogu, are we going to do a time jump and Grogu is just done with Luke? I don't know. But there is, you know, we now have Jedis. We've got Ahsoka, we've got Luke, we've got Grogu now kind of in Mandalorian shows. So we are going to have some Jedis around. And so I'm really excited to explore the stuff that's outside of the Skywalker saga. We've been like Skywalker saga for like 30 years, and it's like, all right, it's a big universe. You know, what else can we explore? Big universe. Let's go. What else can we explore? There's other stuff going on. So I'm really excited for that. I'm glad that they're taking advantage of that. I'm really excited for the show format like The Mandalorian. I love, give me half hour to an hour episodes, you know, and give me 10 of those, man, I'm good. You know, that's awesome. Just a season a year. That's like perfect. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the future. I love Star Wars and I want to see it continue. I don't want to see it get diluted. I don't want to see the magic wear off. Sure. And I think that has kind of happened over the past 20 years or so. And so I'm looking forward to hopefully trying to regain some of that magic that was Star Wars. And I think we're in a good we're in a good place to get that back. So yeah,
I do think it's nice, like, to, you know, just from a fan perspective, to feel like things can go wrong and there can be some clunkers and it's not going to kill the universe. And like you know, like Solo wasn't a success, and you know, but like we've talked about, the new trilogy was pretty divisive, and they've scrapped some projects, and they had this huge list of films they wanted to do, and they scaled it all the way down. And yet here we are, like, looking at this huge list of Star Wars, you know, projects that are in the works and going to be started. It's like the franchise will live on. Yeah. And not in that way where, like, you know, Sony had to make a Spider-Man or a Fantastic Four movie every few years so they didn't lose the property. So they just
sure.
Oh man, the Fantastic Four movies, we do a whole podcast on those. But I'm excited. You know, like the Marvels. Before we were talking about this, I was thinking about the Marvel shows like Daredevil, you know, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, things like that. You know, because that was the closest I could think of, like, to, you know, you have these big blockbuster films and then trying to strip that down and create these television shows. I love Daredevil. I enjoyed Punisher. I really liked the first season of Jessica Jones. I thought there were some really great moments in Luke Cage. There was some. The Iron Fist was me, and when they all came together, it was a little me, and then after they were together, and it was like, me. I just think there were some things that could have been cleaned up by shortening the episodes, by making a few less episodes, a little tighter storytelling.
Sure.
They were all pretty, you know, dark and moody. You know, like maybe just having a few differently toned shows could have helped, but even though they're all kind of gone now, like the Marvel, it just keeps churning out stuff, you know, like, so look, we can talk if that's actually a good thing or a bad thing, because, you know, there's a lot of people that would say that, like, you know, that these blockbuster films have kind of destroyed, like, movie making and things like that. I know there's a lot of people that feel that way. You can Google, you know, some pretty famous directors talking about the Marvel films or some other things. But, you know, like, hey, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come, and I think that you know, and there are going to be some even more relevant and exciting Star Wars video games, but that's another discussion for another time.
So yeah, so there's our thoughts on Star Wars. just kind of where it is, where it's going, what we hope for, just as longtime fans, that we just love this universe, and so that's our Star Wars conversation for this week.
What about a cantina show like Cheers, where you got the band, everybody knows your name, and then people come in, and it's like all these wacky people, and the bartender's like, oh man, that guy just cut someone's arm off again, and
the droids are always trying to sneak in, and
always trying to get in. Sorry, we don't like your kind in your droids for some reason, because they don't buy booze. That's why. Unless you're in the Futurama universe, robots don't drink the alcohol. So maybe like I just think there's a sitcom there. I'd watch a cantina comedy show.
Yeah, well, with some of your context, maybe you can pitch that to Favreau.
You know what? I'm testing some things out now. Let me know below. Are you more interested in the family style sitcom of the Stormtrooper, the Office so the the single cam Office show, or on the Death Star, or this particular brand here now where we're talking the Cantina Cheers show? Or we could do a Cantina variety show, where you just have like what was stand-up comedy like in the Star Wars universe?
Oh man,
guys just getting up there like hey, how many Death Stars they gonna build, for crying out loud, huh? We gotta blow them up. Come on.
I don't know about the variety show. I was with you with the Cheers, but you lost me a variety show.
All right, fair enough. I'd watch a Porg cartoon for kids. Porgs just being cute.
Like Puffin Rock, but with porgs.
Yeah, but like in the Star Wars universe, and then one of the porgs discovers he's force sensitive, and he's like, whoa, get a little lightsaber.
Oh man! All right, Charlie. I think you've got your pitches in.
All right. I got pitches for days, so you let me know if we want to keep going.
All right, maybe on the next Star Wars episode we can have a pitch.
Hey,
section.
If we're gonna keep mining the Skywalker, I mean, how good would like a young Leia be? Like a young Leia show, like all that time?
I think a young Leia would be awesome. I would love to see a young
cool.
Leia. Yeah.
Come on now.
Totally.
And you like my Lando on Lando show idea?
I did like the Lando on Lando. Yeah. Old Lando just telling stories.
Let me tell you some stories. Yeah. I got stories. And he's just smoke, and he's just looking awesome. Still wearing that cloak.
He loves his capes. Loves his capes.
Love you, Lando.
Plus, then we can get some more Donald Glover.
Oh, Donald Glover is fantastic. So I would be all over that. Gosh, he was so good in Community.
He was.
Made me so sad when he left. Well, Brode, I've got my Lando Calrissian on. Should we say goodbye to the people?
Yep, go ahead and close us out, Charlie.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you sticking around and watching this crazy little show we do together. You mean the world to us out there. If you have any thoughts, feel free to comment below. You can also hit Brody up on the DMs if you'd like the opportunity to stay in his guest house. If you have a bell that you'd like to ring for our show, or you would like to enter into a new contest that I just came up with, which is the right to go see Brody and comb his beard. For a full 20 minutes, you can run your fingers or a comb or a brush through Brody's beard. So comment below which contest you'd like to be entered into, or feel free to hit us up on the DMs. Either way, we hope you enjoyed your time with us as much as we enjoyed our time with you. Make sure you comment and subscribe and hit that little like button, and the little bell shall make a sound in our hearts. Ding, ding. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Sounds good. See you guys later. Bye-bye.